This is WPTV.
Welcome back. Well, it's that time again where I begin to question our existence in this life and the very fabric of our universe as we know it. Man, I really should have just taken the blue pill. Anyway, it's been 16 years since the release of Matrix Revolutions, and with the announcement that a Matrix 4 is coming, there's a lot to discuss. Join me on today's episode of Theory Time. I'm here with fans of the series, Tiernan and Matt, to get their thoughts on what Matrix 4 could be. So, what were your first thoughts on some of the announcement when this announcement was made?
Like, why? That's the first question I had is why? Like a Matrix 4. Like, did they not learn what happened with Matrix 3, which got almost 30% on Rotten Tomatoes? Like, it basically, Matrix 1 was okay. Matrix 2 made us question whether or not we actually needed a sequel. And Matrix 3 answered that by saying, no, we really didn't need those two movies.
Even though the first one was on the cliffhanger?
Even though the first one was on the cliffhanger. Like, if they were gonna make a good movie, they would have like put enough time into it. But Matrix 4, like, it's completely like idiotic.
Well, it's taken 16 years.
16 years, like why now specifically? Like is it just a cash grab? I think it's just a cash grab really because of just how like, you know, people are looking back on like all the nostalgic stuff and all that. They're always bringing like all the old ideas back now. So they're thinking, oh, why can't we do the same thing with the Matrix? Exactly. So
what are your thoughts, Matt?
I really think they should have just left it alone when they did. Honestly. I mean, the third one was a good ending. Why do you need another one? I mean, I'm not as mad as I am curious, though, because I do think there could be a potential for this, but I just don't see where they're going to go with this.
Well, it's reported that they're going to include a young Neo and Morpheus. How do you think that will play into the story?
I don't know. I mean, like, the way that, like, we know how the third movie ends.
Yeah.
We saw what happened at the end of the third movie, so it's kind of hard to figure out what's going to happen with a young Neo and a young Morpheus. Like, there's no real way to put it currently in like in the setting of the three movies.
Well, technically, they mentioned in the movies that that was the sixth iteration of the Matrix.
That's true.
So there is that, but I don't see how Morpheus would do that since he's just a human.
Well, maybe it probably is just, you know, a iteration maybe behind the one that we watched, or maybe something like that.
With the young Neo.
Yeah, basically something like that, or like a different version of them somehow. Maybe like it's them training a new one, probably. Who knows?
That's true.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I was thinking that they were going to use it as sort of an example for the new and upcoming guy. Maybe he does play a part. I don't know. I don't know what they're planning, but I'm hoping to see what they come up with.
I feel like they have to get really creative for it to make sense.
Yeah, I know. It's just like, you know, how are you going to fit that in there?
Yeah, they're probably going to shove it in some way that's going to be painful to watch.
Yeah.
So they either have to like make a brand new, you know, idea, like we said with like one of the previous iterations, or just like have to do something like that.
Well, they also are still including old characters and like because Keanu Reeves and Carrie-Anne Moss are confirmed to come back.
Yeah.
Are there any other characters that you would want to come back?
I guess probably Hugo Weaving, the guy who played Agent Smith. That would probably be like the only character that I can see like he is the same throughout all the movies. So it would probably.
But he was the big bad of the last one. He was the big bad,
yeah.
And they destroyed him.
They destroyed him, but how do they?
So you don't think that would be like another, like if they tried to make him the big bad again, it would be.
Well, to continue with our idea of like being a previous iteration of the Matrix, I would say that we may be seeing an even more powerful version of Agent Smith.
Even though he was super powerful in that last
Exactly.
one.
So imagine seeing it before all of that happening.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I think possibly Morpheus, like the guy from the first one. I think they might bring him back as like as a mentor to the new character. I'm really thinking of what they're gonna do with him. But you know, he could make a comeback. He's been famous from the first movie, and he's been an important part in the series. So I wouldn't be surprised that they would add him as a like a trainer for the new person.
So, as we've already discussed, fans weren't entirely happy with the trilogy. That is just a consensus. But so, what would you not want them to put into the fourth movie, other than not making the fourth movie? What would you want them to not put into the movie in order to make it good? Like that would what happened in the third movie to make it bad?
Well, it was pretty much the second and third movie. They just talked too much. They gave out way too much exposition during all this, and they sprinkled in little action scenes and all that to keep your attention, so that way when you're falling asleep, you're able to wake up and still watch the movie. Like, that's the thing with the first Matrix. It's like constant, nonstop action. That's what kept people involved. It was choreographed beautifully. Probably one of the most beautifully choreographed movies of that time.
It was like, and then what they did with the bullets, the slow time
exactly,
thing
yes.
they did, that was literally, read up on it again today, and it literally was like groundbreaking for when it happened. Yeah. So if they had stayed with that first movie, they already literally broke boundaries. What do you think, like, if they did a fourth one, especially with the concept of the movie and the theories it's based on, do you think that they could, in the new technology that we have today, 16 years later, do you think that there's a possibility that they can do something like that again?
I would see something like that. I mean, Matrix has always been considered a groundbreaking movie for different technologies and stuff like that. So I would not be surprised if they tried something new with it, at least. I mean, it probably wouldn't be able to change my feelings toward it, but still, it would be at least something to rejuvenate it into our modern times.
Yeah, I mean, I really liked the first movie, and I think it was like groundbreaking when it came out, especially during that time. Like, one of the things I could not stand is that their philosophy on it. They just put way too much emphasis. They put way too many philosophical ideology in it. And it just like completely downplayed the movie.
Like the whole idea of machines taking over and everything like that. Now I can understand how that could be something of like being current, because with the whole idea, with all the discussions going on right now about artificial intelligence.
So it'd be like do you think it's kind of like a precursor?
I would say it's probably going to be a precursor, yeah.
So you think you're going to see it?
Probably not.
Cool.
It's going to be, here's my theory, it's going to be a dumpster fire. Dumpster
definitely.
fire.
I agree with that. But unfortunately, that's all the time we have. Thank you for joining me, and that's it for this week's Press Start. If you want more Press Start, follow us on our social media, Press Start WP. Also, you can subscribe and like us right here on YouTube. Be sure to tune in next week for more nerd news right here on Press Start.